So the block has now kind of subsided and finished up. As you've followed along, you've seen some of the bigger days that I've done, from big swim workouts, gym workouts, to brick workouts. And obviously there was a lot of work still in between, but only have so many hours to shoot stuff. Ultimately, as you look at each day, you're trying to basically evaluate yourself and feel that, when you're done all the training, am I in a position to have success? And, I do believe, based on the numbers and based on what I was able to do in training versus last year, I think you start looking onwards to the race. And, it's something that, when I was in the block, I was spending very little time thinking about it. I was more concerned about executing what I needed to do, on each minute of the rep, each day, each week, and focused on that. But once the taper starts being put in, then your brain starts working again, and, so to speak, you start thinking about all that past work, and now it's shifted on, what's going to happen in the race, what do I want to do within the race. And again, Maui is the most competitive race of the year. It's shaping up to be more competitive than what it was last year, with some people coming from Europe that weren't there before. And it's really been a year where there's a lot of people at different parts of the year we're showcasing some very good form. And the way the calendar works, everyone gets a chance to have, I think, a pretty sizable block going into this race. So everyone is ready. And that part, there's no, did this person overtrain? Is this person tired from racing? Everyone's got a chance to have a rest, and everyone's got a chance to put their best foot forward. And so really it comes down to how you keep your mind on the task at hand. And for me, a successful race looks like executing what I basically have trained to do. And for me, it's the simplistic idea of showcasing and expressing my fitness that I've built here. If I get that opportunity to do that in what I've trained to do, I do believe it will yield me the result that I want. But there's so many other things that go into that in terms of progressing through the race the way that you want. And the biggest thing is keeping a mental narrative of just work hard and suffer. Last year was a tremendous year for me, coming 7th, and it was far from a perfect race. It was the first race that I'd ever tripped on a start line, had a terrible start, crashed 4 times on the bike, and I was injured with basically a psoas problem going into the race. And again, it's one of those times where at this time of year, you don't make excuses. You just get on with your business and do it. And it's a little bit that way this year, except there's, not injured. And, again, you are looking to rectify wrongs that you made the previous year. I think one of the big changes to Maui, and a lot of people are anticipating, is this 2-loop bike course. The transition zone will be in a different place. The swim is going to be a touch different. And all these factors now kind of shake up things, because for a while we all got set on that this is what we knew. We knew where the transition was within the Ritz, and you kind of build out all those things. And now there's some unknowns. And so for me, traveling very soon to the race, one of the problems, or maybe it's not a problem, but based on figuring out what equipment you're going to need to utilize to have the most success on the course. So for me, I think people have seen me in these videos on my hardtail a lot, but there's also a full suspension bike that I have as well that, I've ridden most of the summer. And I perceive, from what I've been told from my friends that live on Maui, that the course is leaning towards, if you have the ability of a hardtail, it's leaning towards that way. But some of this stuff is, once you get there and ride it, you want to have the availability to make a decision of, nope, I need my full suspension. If it's too rough, it's going to ruin my run. Or, you don't want to get there and, have your hardtail sitting in your garage at home and knowing that, oof, that would have been the bike to use. So for me this year, it's actually traveling with 2 bikes, which is not easy because it's, traveling very heavy and not light. But again, it's a sacrifice that is just a no-brainer in my eyes. And luckily I have the support through the companies that I work with to be able to have 2 bikes of, full suspension and hardtail. And, again, it's when you think of these races, to win at the highest level, it comes down to minute little things. And it's not any one thing, it's the collection. And so that simple idea of the, marginal gains, if you will. And so to do everything a little bit better. And again, it starts from your equipment to how you trained to what you do at the day of the race.